Why does the Father love the Son more than the Father's Son? Because the Son is his creation. All are very supportive of the fact that they have created. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are sweet. Everyone's friend is nobody's friend. The habit of finding only the funny side in everything is the surest sign of a shallow soul, for the funny always lies on the surface. Uneducated people seem more convincing in the eyes of the crowd than educated people. All people want knowledge from nature. Tolerance and apathy are the last two virtues of a dying society. A man in comparison with a woman is better than her by nature, and a woman is worse than him, because he rules over her, and she obeys him. Those who buy power with money get used to making a profit from it. To reason well about virtue does not mean to be virtuous, and to be just in thought does not mean to be just in deed. The nature of desire is dissatisfaction, and most people live with this feeling alone. The soul never thinks without an image. To live is to do things, not to acquire them. Enjoyment of communication is the main sign of friendship. Friendship is one soul living in two bodies. Happiness is on the side of the one who is happy. We lose leisure in order to have leisure, and we wage war in order to live in peace. Poverty breeds rebellion and crime. The body is in the best shape between 30 and 35 years. For happiness, you also need a chance. Those who want to succeed must ask the right preliminary questions. It is the funny habits of people that make life pleasant and bind society together. Everyone can get angry, it's easy, but to get angry at the person you need, and as much as you need, and when you need, and for the reason you need, and in the way you need is not given to everyone. Nothing destroys a person so much as prolonged physical inactivity. We should not be afraid of poverty, disease, or anything that is not caused by depravity and does not depend on the person himself. Out of justice come all the virtues. The wise man does not seek pleasure, he seeks the absence of suffering. A free man is one who exists for himself and not for another. What you expect, you will find. He who advances in knowledge, but lags behind in morality, is more backward than forward. Those who raise children well should be valued more than those who give birth to them. The unrepentant is incurable. What is the difference? Do women rule, or are officials governed by women? The result is the same. Man is by nature a social animal. To know oneself is the most difficult and the most joyous. But we cannot see ourselves by our own efforts. If we want to see our own face, we look in the mirror. If we want to know ourselves, we can know ourselves by looking at each other. After all, a friend, as we say, is the second self. It is impossible to know yourself without the help of a friend. Those who own and use something together quarrel with each other much more than those who have private property. Comedy has the intention of displaying people who are worse, and tragedy, better than existing ones. Only music has the power to shape character. With music, you can teach yourself to develop the right feelings. Happiness is self-satisfaction. Beauty is a gift from God.